Let's start with Chapter 4, Problem 17. And in this problem, we'll be looking at a series of numbers, and we'll calculate its mean, and then we'll see what happens if we add a number to each number in the series, or subtract a number, or multiply each number in the series by a constant. We'll see what happens to the average. So we're going to start off with some data. So I will put that in the column here, and I will call this X, and our data is 1, 3, 4, 6, 6, no, 1, 3, 4, 6, 6. Yep, that's it. We've got 5 pieces of data, and we are going to calculate the average for that. Then we're going to calculate the average for X plus 2, and then we're going to do X minus 2, and then we're going to do 2x and x divided by 2. So let's click over here and let's put this in a table. So I'll go to Insert, Table, and as it says, is this the right data? Yep, it is, and my table has headers. So I'll click OK, and there we have our table. Now let's calculate the average for x. I'm going to put, I'll label this row average. We're going to calculate the average or the mean. And here I am going to use the auto sum. And rather than the sum, I'm going to choose the average. So I do average, and it'll say the average of table 1 variable x. And I'll say, yep, that's what I want. I'll press enter. It says, aha, the average is 4. And then you notice how there's this double line there? That means that it's calculating subtotals now. And so we've got the formula up there, the average of the variable x. That's what the square bracket means. Now we need to calculate x plus 2. So we're going to add 2 to every number. Now I could just add 2 and type that in, but I'm going to use a formula where I add 2 to x. So I'm going to put equals, and then I4 is x, and I'm going to do plus 2, press enter, and there it calculated it for everybody there. Now I can bring over, drag this over, and it says the average is now 6. Aha, I added 2 to each number in the series, and it raised the average by 2, which makes sense. So we will make the conclusion, adding a constant to a series of numbers raises the average by the constant. All right, now let's see what happens if we subtract a constant. Let's subtract 2 from each one. So I'm going to again do equals, then I4 is x, and then minus 2, press enter, and it got 2 less than the first row. So let's drag the equation over here too. Now the equation went down to 2. When we subtracted 2 from each number, the average went down too. So the answer to B is subtracting a constant from a series of numbers lowers the average by the constant. That makes sense. Now, what happens if we multiply each number by 2? So again, I'll do equals 2, and then the star is the times I4 equals. Now we've doubled everything. I'll drag this over. And did it multiply it by 2? Let's drag this over. And yep, it multiplied it by 2. So let's see, would be multiplying a series of numbers by a constant multiplies the average by the constant. Okay, now what happens if we divide? You can probably guess here. we'll do equals I4 divided by 2, enter, and it gives us all those numbers there. Now let's drag the average over there. And once again, it's half of what it was before, so we can say that dividing a series of numbers by a constant divides the average by the constant. And that's our first problem. And the next one, we'll see what happens with standard deviation.